That's because we still have a constitution that claims to be of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but it is essentially a unitary constitution, a constitution that places so much power in the presidency and the occupier of the seat of the president, to the extent that right now, as far as I'm concerned, even those powers are being stretched beyond the constitutional provisions and being abused, as far as I'm concerned, by one human being sitting in the comfort of his office and making a proclamation that a governor and members of the House of Assembly of that state are removed. Is that the constitution that can lead Nigeria to where we should be as a federalist state? In true federalism, you have the federating units, and those federating units almost have equal powers, and there is mutual respect. There is the relationship that they have is such that even if we have only one sovereign entity being the federal government, the federating units also have enough powers under the constitution to control their own resources, to have enough powers to engender sustainable development within their respective domains, and to be able, in fact, there are some federalist states, when I say states now, I'm talking of countries that have the subnational federating units having their own constitutions. In fact, we've once had that in Nigeria too. Western Nigeria had its own constitution. In fact, Western Nigeria had its own consulate in Britain. It was not only in the UK alone, in several other places, including Saudi Arabia, because Obafemi Awolowo, as the premier at that time, was even the first person to start what they call the Pilgrims Welfare Board, and then had so the constitution that we should return to should be one that guarantees a lot of powers for federating units to also be able to work and achieve sustainable development for their people. Okay, so it's not as if we've never had anything like that in Nigeria. I always refer people to the Oliver Littleton Constitution of 1954. There were enough powers that were granted to the premier of each region then to be able to do a lot of things. It was those, and then resources were not being expected from the federal government at that time. Rather, there was resource control from the district and municipal government levels, and out of those were taken as taxes, royalties, and whatever to the states, to the regions, and then the regions also took something to the federal. It is not that the federal government will be the one holding on to 53% of the pot of soup of the nation and then be distributing to the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, and at the same time still going to court for the Supreme Court to pronounce what you call the local government autonomy pronouncement, judgment, that says that the same federal government already controlling 53%, leaving only about 27% for 37 other federating units, the 36 states and the FCT to share, and just 20% for about 774 local governments. And then the same federal government holding on to the 53% now wants to still control how that 20% bypasses the other federating units in being states of the federation to go and reach the local government. And that's why we are having problems. All the problems that we're having in Rivers State today is all about that. All the problems in Kano State is all about that. All the problems that may emanate and are already rearing their ugly heads in Osun State are all about that.